Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Rhythm and Roots Podcast. I'm your host, Jason Robertson. Today, we're in Studio 1314, downtown Lubbock in Citizens Tower, kicking off Episode 3 of Season 4. And I've got my friend, Miss Jenni Del Lord, with me. Hi, Jenny.
Hello.
How are you?
I couldn't be better. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm happy you came.
I've been hearing for a long time how I needed to come do this. So when you asked me to, I was like, heck yeah.
Shoot ya.
Yeah.
Well, and you brought lots of goodies today.
Well, we got to have stuff to talk about.
That's right. Well, so let's talk about, first of all, what you've been doing lately, because you got a lot going on. I know you're traveling a lot, you're touring a lot. What does your summer look like? Are you playing much around town, or is it pretty much all out of town gigs right now?
Well, usually I play out of town on the weekends and try to throw in a few local gigs here during the week so I can have a good excuse to come home. I got the Buddy Holly Summer Showcase coming up in August. August 6th, I think, is my date. You'll see my full band with that. We have a few shows. We got Abuelo, some at the Cotton Court Hotel. But mostly I try to spend my time on the road. Spent years and years and years playing 5 nights a week in Lubbock. And although I really enjoyed that, I realized it wasn't going to help me accomplish the bigger picture that I was really trying to do. So now I'm gone most of the time. And I love it. I just came back from St. Louis. I'm leaving for Arkansas at 6 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, and then I've got Colorado after that. And so I just try to travel as much as possible.
So you're busy this summer.
Yeah, try to be anyway.
Let's talk about your band. You've got some full band shows coming up.
Yeah.
Who's all in your band?
So I have a studio band, and then I have my touring band. And so my touring band that I play with is Andrew Mason on the bass, Terry Moore on the drums, Aaron Dick on the keys, and then Kel Richardson is usually my guitar player whenever he has time to fit me in. If not Kel, Dustin Garrett, who's also phenomenal. Those two will go back and forth doing the amazing guitar work for the
That's a shame to have those two on the roster,
isn't it terrible? I know. I feel so sorry for myself.
Dustin's actually coming in with Shay in a couple weeks. I'm looking
nice.
forward to that. That'll be fun.
So Dustin is also my studio guitar player too, and we've been working on a Christmas album that's going to be coming out on December 5th of this year. And so we get to spend a lot of time together. And not only is he one of my favorite people, I don't know if I should say this because I'm friends with everybody, but he might be, the best guitar player in Lubbock right now.
He's up there.
He's phenomenal.
Yeah, and what a great guy, too.
Absolutely.
He plays a lot.
He does.
So he must really like your stuff if he's fitting you in.
I hope so.
That's good.
So.
So do you prefer the full band shows over the singer-songwriter? I know you're a singer-songwriter at heart.
Yes.
So do you kind of lean toward those shows, or is the full band just an outlet for you to scratch that itch a little bit?
I think there are things about both that I really love, because if you come to the singer-songwriter show, it's we're probably going to cry at the end of it. There's lots of emotion going on and just a really intimate connection that I try to make with the audience for those particular performances. But then when it's the band, it's rock and roll. It may be country, it may have a country edge and some blues in it, but we're electric guitars, we're dancing on stage, we're having a good time. And it's just an energy that I can't, no matter how hard I tried to do that on my own, it would be impossible. It really takes the rhythm section and the screaming amps and all of the stuff like that to build that level of energy. And I love it. I love it. But I don't know that I have a favorite, because there's something about each one of it's apples and oranges.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I love the singer-songwriter platform, whether it's a song swap or a solo gig, where you get to tell a story and you get to talk about the song and how the song came to life. But then I also love a full band when you take those songs and they breathe new life, when you get all these different musicians with this different perspective on the song and everything comes together. It's a pretty special thing.
It is, and I try to warn people that discover me at a singer-songwriter show, and they're like, we want to get your music. I'm like, thank you, but just so you know, it's the full band.
Yeah.
It's not going to sound the same as it does with just me and a guitar. So I have some people that tell me I prefer you as a solo artist, and I have some people that say I prefer you with the band, and I love all those people and come on to all the shows. So.
Yeah. Is all your studio recordings, are they all full band produced albums?
They are. I have thought about making a stripped down acoustic version of some of my quote unquote greatest hits. I haven't really done that yet, but when I write a song, I kind of want it to debut or to premiere on a recording as a full band version the way that I would want it. If I were to buy an album, that Reba McEntire's latest album, I don't expect it to be all acoustic,
That's
so
right.
I just kind of want it to reflect the full band sound. It's the way I prefer it, I think.
Yeah. What about how did you get started? I know you have a long career of playing music. I mean, I know we've talked before, and I'm not sure in that last interview we did with Buffalo Grass, but I don't know what your origin story is as far as how early you started, but I know it's early.
Yeah, so my mom put me in piano lessons at 4 years old.
So very young.
And then it just, was a rolling stone after that. Yeah, so 4, started playing the piano, and then about 11, I was like, man, that piano's too hard to take places. I need to pick up a instrument that travels better. So I asked my mom if I could, take guitar lessons. And I took guitar lessons from David Brandon, who is, one of the best guitar players in the world. He's toured with some of my icons like Julie Andrews and Barbra Streisand, and studied under Andre Segovia, who was phenomenal, so very blessed in that aspect. Did the alto saxophone in the marching band, and basically just tried to play any instrument that I could. And that's actually how I met Scott Ferris, who is a good friend of both of ours. He was my substitute guitar teacher at Brandon Guitar Studio whenever David was on tour and doing other things. And so I've known Scott Ferris for 34 years now, and we've developed a relationship way beyond that. I went to South Plains College and studied the commercial music program, where he was one of my teachers, which kind of reunited us. And he was technically in my very first band. Our band was called Ear Candy. It was one of the South Plains College ensembles, and it was totally rock and roll. We didn't do any country music in
I
that.
bet that was fun.
So much fun. If you can imagine playing music with Scott, he's a hoot. And so I just basically been doing music ever since then. I think I got paid for my first gig at 18, and I liked it, so I kept trying it.
Are you the only musician in your family, or do you come from a musical family?
I do come from a musical family. My uncle gave me my first guitar and said, you can have this until you buy your own guitar. And then I bought my own guitar, and he took it back, and I was like, but I wanted both of them. But so he was in a band all through college and in his 20s and everything. My mom was a piano player. My grandmother was a piano player. My father had a beautiful voice, loved to sing. But I'm the only one who ever really tried to pursue it as a profession, I think.
Well, you've done a pretty good job at it.
Thank you. Thank you.
And it looks like you're still going.
Well, I've had other jobs. I have a culinary degree. When I moved to Austin, like most people who grow up in Lubbock, the first thing you want to do is leave. And then like most people who leave, I came back. But so when I was in Austin, I went to Le Cordon Bleu, a culinary school, and so I was a chef by day, musician by night. And then when I came back to Lubbock in 2010, I decided to finish my bachelor's at Tech because I dropped out of college to go to culinary school, and started playing gigs just to make some money while I was doing that, and it was going really well. And eventually I was able to not have to be a chef or have another job and just do it full time, which I recognize as a huge blessing.
Absolutely. Do you miss the culinary world at all? Is that something that you had a passion for, and obviously at one time?
Yeah. Well, the thing is that now I do it for fun.
Yeah.
So every time I'm home or I have some time off, I'm cooking. I mentioned an annual Christmas concert where I bake around 2,000 cookies, about 18 different flavors. It's called Cookies and Carols, and this year will be our 10th anniversary. It should have been our 11th, but with COVID, we took that year off. So I still do it. I donate a dinner and a show for Christ the King fundraiser every year, and I've dabbled in doing some of those hire me and I'll cook you dinner and play you a concert afterward things. So I still get to touch on it. It's just not as stressful as it used to be.
Yeah, that's really cool. I did not know that about you. So 2,000 cookies, that's quite the undertaking. How long does that take you?
So this last year we did 1856 was the exact number. And I say we because I had to enlist my mom to help me, because it started off as this small concert at the original Wine Nest, which was on 98th Street between Slide and Frankfurt. And they had just like a 24, 30 seated area in the back where I did my first one, and then over the years we've taken it to McPherson, where
nice.
we have 200 people, and so I enlisted my mom's help. To answer your question, I actually start baking in November, and you're like, wait, those cookies can't have to be disgusting. No, it's not true, because you put them in the freezer the second that they're cooled, and we even got taught we could do that with cakes and everything in culinary school. So if it's good enough for Le Cordon Bleu, it's good enough for the cookies. So I just bake the whole month of November and get everything in the freezer as soon as I can, and then defrost them the day of the concert, and they're just like new.
That's crazy. So is this something that you talked about, maybe doing some shows where you cook and then play for people? Have you done many of those?
So the only one that I've done so far, this will be my third year as a donation, as a charity event.
Okay.
I've never actually gone out and done a whole one, but I have several friends that also love to cook that do it, and I'm like, well, maybe I should try that. And then I'm like, maybe not. I don't know. It just depends.
That's cool,
But I definitely
though.
do once a year for Christ the King schools.
That's very cool. Let's talk songwriting a little bit. You've been writing songs a long time.
Wrote my first song when I was 8 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, about my parents getting divorced and my mother's new datey that she had at the time. But I wrote it from her perspective. I don't know if there's such a thing as reincarnation, but if there is, I'm one of those old souls, you know. So I wrote it from her perspective of like having to choose between this guy that she's seeing and her selfish little kid daughter who didn't want to share her mom with anybody, you know.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, but I'm sorry to interrupt. What was your
No,
question?
that's okay. I mean, through all these years of songwriting, I'm sure your processes have changed a little bit, refined maybe as you've learned things. But I always like to talk to other songwriters and kind of pick their brain about, you know, what's your process? And for mine, it varies. You know, sometimes it's melody first. Sometimes I have a lyric and I build off of that. Sometimes I'll just sit down and write. Do you have a process that you kind of adhere to that works for you, or is it across, you know, all over the board?
So usually, the reason I started writing songs, as you might have deduced from my earlier comment, is because I had all these big emotions that I needed to get out. And that's something that's stuck with me throughout my life. So usually it's oh my God, I'm going through this thing and I need to get it on a piece of paper right here and right now. It's only recently that I've had to start seeking inspiration. You know, I've always said the worst thing to happen to a songwriter is being happy. I don't recommend it to anybody. A stable life is really terrible. It's not inspirational whatsoever. My process has always been, I'm feeling these things and I sit down and I write a song. And one thing, because I host a songwriter series in the Hill Country, you were talking about song swaps and all that stuff, where I invite some of my favorite artists to come share the stage with me. And I ask them a bunch of questions too, because I take advantage of that moment to learn from them, you know, because they do really great things and I'm in their presence and I want to absorb whatever knowledge that I can from them. And I have learned that I write songs in a different way than a lot of people in the sense that I don't necessarily have a melody or an idea. I mean, I guess I have an idea, but I go, okay, here's what I'm feeling, and I write the first line and I write the first chord. And I write the second line, and I write the second chord. And it's very much a linear process for me. So the story and the music are created from the beginning until the end. And a lot of people, I've found out, start with a melody or start with the lyrics or start with a chorus. And for me, it's like writing a story front to back.
Yeah. I find that I have better success when I approach it that way. A lot of times if I have a melody, I think it sways what I'm feeling because, you know, I feel what the melody's doing and maybe it so I think for me, if I'll sit down and ink to paper, you know, it flows a little better.
So do you physically handwrite it? You said ink to paper?
Yeah, I do. I don't, you know, I'll jot down, excuse me, ideas on my phone sometimes. I'll record some voice notes.
Yeah.
But for me, a lot of times I'll write a song in my head with a guitar, and then once I get a verse and a couple choruses, then I'll go back and start writing it down and refining it.
Yeah.
But for me, pen to paper is magic because it ingrains it in me.
Yeah.
I learn the song quicker if I'll write it down.
A lot of people do that. I first of all, I hate the act of handwriting, and everybody tells me my handwriting is terrible. I probably should have been a doctor, you know. It's like, so even since I grew up in the technology era, you know, where I'm old enough to just kind of have that perfect thing when computers came out. So I pretty much have been typing everything for as long as I can remember. So I pull out my laptop, and I don't do anything
Yeah.
on the phone. I mean, I don't know. It's too small.
Yeah, it's
not good
hard.
enough. But I love to get out my laptop and actually do all my typing and stuff there. So I never actually have done the ink to paper. But I admire people who do that. Like my mom just recently gave me a beautiful, like leather bound notebook to write stuff in, and I'm don't want to tell her that I hate to write. So I don't listen to this, Mom.
I grew up, and I'm not going to say when, but it was a long time ago, and we didn't have cell phones.
Yeah.
The first computer I had, I was in high school, and we got a home PC, that
Yeah, I
the
remember that's the
dial-up
AOL sound you just did. Yeah.
And so I really wasn't. I mean, we had some old Apple computers in school that we learned typing on.
Yeah.
But as far as really being immersed in that digital world, I wasn't until I was a full adult, 20-something years old. First cell phone at 20.
I was 24 when I got my
Yeah.
first cell phone, so you started younger than I did.
I did, yeah. But that being said, I prefer the pen to paper.
Yeah.
It's just something that it's nostalgic to me. Some of the greatest treasures that I have are like handwritten letters from my grandmother and things. There's something beautiful about the English language written.
I agree with you, and I wish I were more of a writer. My hand cramps up by the second sentence.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, I've got the same problem as you. Is it's illegible.
illegible.
Yeah, illegible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so when I write, a lot of times I'm going, "What does that say?"
Yeah. I have a friend who I told you I still cook for fun, and she's in her 80s and lives up the street from me, and she's completely lost all her hearing. And so I will cook a bunch of food, and I will take food for her, and I'll write on masking tape with a Sharpie what it is. And I actually just saw her yesterday and took it to her, and she was like, could not understand or like read a word that was on there. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I thought it was legible, but I guess not.
Have you? Are you working on anything in studio right now? Have you got anything in the works that you're cooking up?
I personally am not, because I just finished recording an album, so it's currently being mixed. We started doing the mixing on April 20th. Yes, I have my very first Christmas album coming out this year
cool.
to celebrate the 10th anniversary of Cookies and Carols, and I've also been working on a cookie cookbook to accompany that, of as many of the cookies I can recall that we've done over the last 10 years. And I've had a great time writing Christmas music. It's going to be a mixture of some classics as well as some new original, not original to me, but like I have a songwriter friend in Nashville who will occasionally send me songs and be like, you want to record this? And I'll be like, heck yes, I do. So I've got 2 of his songs on there. And then I wrote 3 originals, and turns out I really like writing Christmas music. I didn't know that I was going to, as an emotional singer-songwriter who loves the ballads and who loves to do all this stuff. I found that I cannot write an emotional Christmas song, like they're all fun, they're all happy, and it was really great to experience these emotions in the songwriting process that I'm not used to doing. So yes, December 5th. It's called Cookies with Mama. It's it's a whole cookie theme, and I'm really excited to get that out there. So we're trying to have everything done by June 1st, because I want to press it to vinyl, and it takes several months to do that. Because growing up, my holiday tradition, which is how Cookies and Carols and everything started, was baking cookies with my mom. That's what we always did. And my favorite Christmas album growing up was Barbara Mandrell's Christmas at Our House. And it was literally a vinyl that I would put the record on, go bake cookies. It would finish. I'd go flip it, go back and bake cookies. And this was the tradition for my whole entire childhood. So pressing this Christmas album to vinyl is very important to me. So we're going to be ready to press by June 1st.
So I'm guessing that Christmas is your favorite holiday.
I guess so.
You got a little Christmas love
I
going
think
on.
so. Who doesn't love Christmas?
That's right.
It's a great holiday.
It is. It's a beautiful time of
Yeah.
year. Was talking about putting things, getting pressed on vinyl.
Yeah.
We have got a million moments here by Jenni Dale Lord. Look at this album art.
Yeah, Scott Ferris did that.
That's incredible.
It's an ofrenda. I don't know if you know what an ofrenda is.
Huh.
It's a Hispanic tradition that you do around Dia de los Muertos.
Okay.
It's just
I see the theme, yeah.
commemorate those who have passed on. And so you set up this little altar, if you will, of photographs and some of the things that they love. And so my grandmother passed away when I was making that album. And the face in the center of that, the painting, is part of an entire woman and entire man, Dia de los Muertos style. It's my tattoo as well. She painted that, and I took that to my tattoo artist and said, I want you to take that face and turn it into a tattoo. And so it became a whole thing. We got a T-shirt with that
That's
on there.
so cool.
It's the whole thing. So there's a song on there that I wrote for my grandmother after she passed away. So
Yeah, the first thing I noticed about this was the background. I mean, that took a lot of time to envision that and to do that. That's
and
pretty
all
cool.
of those strings at the top are photographs of moments of my life, and they're all different. But the perspective, you can't really focus in on all of them, but there are just hundreds of photographs beyond that.
So is this your last record?
It's my most recent one. It came out in 2024. Yes, and so the thing about the record, I found out, so there's only going to be 11 songs on the Christmas album because I usually put 13 songs on the album. So when you did the introduction and 13 was in the address, I was like, no wonder I love this place. This is awesome. 13 songs is too much to put on a vinyl. So you get 13 songs on the CD and 11 on the
11.
on the vinyl. So you have to get both of them if you want all the songs.
Well, hey, it's a good marketing technique.
I mean,
anyway.
It wasn't intentional. I found out the hard way.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, nope, we're only doing 11 songs for the Christmas album.
You also brought this English Newsom Cellars JDL red wine blend, and it's got Jenni Dale Lord on here with her guitar and your signature. This is really cool.
And it's aged in a bourbon barrel because
let's
everybody
talk
knows I'm
about
a
this a
whiskey
little
drinker.
bit.
Yeah.
So, how did this come about with English Newsom?
So Steve Newsom and I have been friends for many years. He used to be part of a winery called Trilogy Cellars in Levelland, and that's where I first got to know him. And so ever since back then, I would always just kind of rib him a little bit and be like, why don't you have a bourbon barrel red wine? Because that's my favorite kind of red wine. You can call it JDL. And so finally, many years later, when he took over English Newsom Cellars, which used to be Caprock Winery, he went to Garrison Brothers, which is in the Hill Country in High Texas, which is just outside of Fredericksburg, and sent me a picture of his truck bed full of wet Garrison Brothers whiskey barrels. And that was the beginning of it. And so every year we do a different release. We've had Wild Turkey barrels. We've had Milam and Green, which is a Texas distillery, Garrison Brothers. So every year it's a different whiskey barrel with a different group of grapes. So every single one has a different flavor profile. And the beginning ones, it was still a very much a learning process. So the whiskey flavor's a little bit more intense from those wet whiskey barrels from Garrison Brothers than they are now. But it's been a real treat to just see how they have adjusted and how everything tastes and just to. I mean, it doesn't suck having my face on a wine label. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it's pretty cool in your hometown.
I get to go places and be like, here's a bottle of wine. Thanks for having me. Here you go. Take it to all my radio stations, people who host me for things. Here you go.
Yeah, it's a great gift.
Rhythm and Roots. Here you go.
That's right.
So, yeah.
Well, we sure appreciate it.
I'm glad.
The guys have already been trying to pop the cork on it.
Yeah,
so it's
but they
probably
can
not
fight
gonna...
over the other stuff. This one I brought for you.
Okay. You brought something else pretty special. Do you want to grab it and let's talk about it real quick? So when Jenni came into studio, she was telling me about a guitar that she just recently received from Ireland. Is that right?
Ireland.
Yeah. So, and this is the guitar. So how much trouble did they have? I know we talked a little bit about tariffs, but with it getting shipped into the country, how long did that take after the finished product?
It took longer than I thought it would. It took several months. And then, you finally think you get it through, and then it's like, oh no, FedEx is like, give me some more money for those tariffs. And so it was really crazy. But it was definitely worth the wait. It's Avalon Guitars. It came from a town just outside of Belfast that we just stumbled upon a guitar factory. And the lady, Pauline, who took me and my friends on a tour, we just happened to run into the owner as we were walking out, and he was like, "We don't give tours," and in her thick Irish accent said, "Aye, but I've got a musician from the United States that her lifelong dream is to see a guitar factory in Ireland." He's like, "All right, come on," and then I ended up getting a guitar made for me, so it's really nice. It's made with this is walnut, which I had never ever. I didn't even know walnut was an option for wood. And this front part is redwood. And one of the towns that I went to in Ireland was called Cong, and that's where they filmed the movie The Silent Man, I think is what it's called, with John Wayne and Maureen O'Hara.
Okay.
And Maureen O'Hara, I'm a big old movie lover, at least I was back in the day. She was always one of my favorite actresses, and she had your traditional red Irish hair. And so because she's got a redwood top, and all my guitars are girls, it's like a yacht, you have to name them after women. So her name is Maureen.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful, beautiful guitar.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to hear you play it here in a minute.
Thank you.
So was this a guitar, the style of it? I know we talked about that a little bit. You kind of let him have creative freedom on building this guitar?
Yeah, as far as like the parts and everything, but I did specifically request a small body guitar because this is smaller than the dreadnoughts and the grand auditorium guitars that I traditionally play, and I'd never had a small body guitar before. And truthfully, the only reason I have this guitar now is because my mom was with me, and she was like, "I want to buy you a guitar," and I was like, "No," she's like, "Yes," and I'm like, "Okay." So
well, and that's pretty special. I mean, not only the fact that it came from Ireland,
yeah,
and kind of the story behind it, but that your mom's tied to it. That's a special instrument.
My mom and I are very close, as you probably noticed. I've talked about her a lot, I think.
Yeah.
So
has she been one of your biggest supporters and inspiration over the years?
Absolutely. I have lots of songs with the words "mama" in it. I've always said she's my biggest critic and my biggest fan. She told me when I was very young that all of my songs sound the same, and it really broke my heart. And now I think I took it too much to heart because a lot of the feedback I get is, "Well, I don't know where to put you because some of your songs are really bluesy, and some of them are really country, and some of them are rock and roll, and some of them are," and I'm like, "Well, they don't all sound the same."
That's right.
So, but she is, and my mom is dealing with some physical issues as well, and so we've recently been put on a "Your Time Is Limited" track, and so we're just trying to make the most of it.
Yeah.
And so we went to Ireland together, and we've got another trip planned together next year. I'm taking her to Arkansas with me. She went to St. Louis with me, and so just trying to spend as much time with her as I can while I can.
I bet that's special having her on the road with you.
It really is. It really
probably
is.
makes it a lot easier too.
It does.
Have that little comfort, that little safe mama with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a joy, and I'm very lucky.
That's cool. Well, I bet she's lucky too.
Well, I hope she feels that way.
I bet she does. If you had any advice, I ask all my songwriter friends this. Anybody watching or listening that may be aspiring to be either a musician or a songwriter, is there anything that you could tell them that maybe you would do different, or something that you could guide them? A little bit of sage advice.
Sure. The one thing I would do different is I wish I had taken advantage of the opportunities that I was given when I was younger. I took advantage of them to a point, but I studied under David Brandon, and I can't play guitar anything close to like he can because I just saw this limited window of, I want to be like Reba. I just want to know enough guitar to write songs. Well, that was really dumb of me. I should have taken advantage of that. Got in my 20s, I just want to party because I was a good girl my whole entire life instead of focusing and being, really determined to accomplish these goals. So I just say, take advantage of the opportunities that you're given and make the most of them. And just, life is short. You've got to be able to enjoy what you do. But at the same time, if you can be as dedicated now as you will be in 20 years, do that. So that's what I wish I would have done differently. But the advice I always like to give people getting started, I think, just don't give up.
Yeah.
Because this particular business, you're going to hear more no's and you're going to hear yeses, and you're going to feel defeated more than you're going to feel inflated. And so if it's what matters most to you and you can't imagine doing anything else, just don't give up. That's all I ever tell people. Don't give up.
Yeah. That's great advice.
Thank you.
That, that common thread has kind of run through a lot of the artists that I've asked. A lot of them say first, if you're going to play an instrument, try to master it, which I'm guilty of not doing myself. And a lot of them say, if it's really your passion, pursue it with everything you got.
Absolutely.
Put the time in, put the effort in. And I would say that for anybody about anything they're passionate about. I'm one of the proponents of chase your dreams. I might be a little bit of a dreamer.
But we have to have dreams, or we don't strive for anything.
That's right.
But that's the thing. Don't just dream it. Do it.
That's exactly right. Put a little action behind it.
That's right.
And art's so subjective.
Sure.
You may have a crowd that is not, maybe they're not, your music's not appealing to them, or maybe it's just not the right genre of music for them, and you may play for a totally different place, and everybody in there loves you.
Right.
So it's so subjective that make the art, be true to yourself.
Absolutely.
Right from the heart.
Make yourself happy.
And play your damn guitar.
That's right. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah. Tell the audience playing and listening where we can find, number one, your schedule. I know it's on your website, but it may be on social media platforms. And then tell us your social media platforms, and then where we can find your music as well.
JenniDaleLord.com. That's Jenni with an I. I always say it's Jennifer without the fur. And it's DALE, Lord.com. It's got my whole schedule on there. I do on Facebook post constantly, like my upcoming gigs for probably 3-4 weeks that you can find on there. I do the bands in town. I think even Spotify has my upcoming shows on there. You can find my music on all your favorite streaming sites. You can find me at Jenni Dale on Instagram, JDL Music on Facebook. I do have a TikTok page, but I'm not very good about doing that because I hate myself on video because it requires me putting on makeup, and I hate to do that. But you can find me anywhere. YouTube, you like videos, I got professional music videos. There are programs that I've done that are all over that. So Spotify, Apple Music, just look for Jenni Dale Lord and you should be able to find something.
So we're not going to find any TikTok dances out there.
Not from me.
No, okay.
No, not from me.
Me neither. Mm-mm. I don't even have a TikTok.
I tried to do TikTok, and like I said, I still have an account, but then I just heard they make you sign your life away with some new changes, so I've been scared to even sign back in because I like my privacy, and I
do too.
I like my own stuff.
I do too.
Yeah.
Well, we're about to get prepared for you to play a few songs for us.
Absolutely.
That's my favorite part of this job is the free concert.
All right.
And so you guys stick around. We're about to have some songs from Jenni Dale Lord. Be looking for the Christmas album to drop. I might have to get the vinyl.
Please do.
I'm a vinyl guy.
Me too.
And we might have to go to the concert just for the cookies. I'm curious about the cookies now. So stay tuned for a free concert from Jenni Dale Lord right here on Rhythm and Roots. And you can catch all of the archived episodes for Rhythm and Roots on the City of Lubbock's YouTube channel, playlist Rhythm and Roots. They play randomly on the city's TV channel, My LBK Connect, and they're also streamed on all podcast streaming platforms. If you have anything that you would like for us to, any guests that you'd like to have, you can email us. There's an email link on the city's website, and we'd love to hear from you guys. And so stay tuned. We're about to hear Jenni Dale Lord.
Well, since we talked about all that whiskey, play a song about whiskey. A song about my favorite thing in the world, Free Whiskey, title track to one of my albums. Second only to Free Wine, of course. When you walked in the room, they all walked out. I was the only fool sticking around. I should have known right then and there that it was trouble coming towards my chair, but I never want to turn free whiskey down. You came up and asked me for a light, asked me if I came alone tonight. Said, bartender, can you help me please? Won't you get this lady what she needs? And I never want to turn free whiskey down. Free whiskey, free whiskey. That's what is to blame for all this misery. You tricked me. It's a mystery how I'm hooked on you, just like I'm hooked on whiskey. Well, it didn't take too long to throw me out. Just another girl that you can brag about. All your buddies, they can hear you boast about another notch in your bedpost. 'Cause I'm never one to turn free whiskey down. No, no, no. Free whiskey, free whiskey. That's what is to blame for all this misery. You tricked me. It's a mystery how I'm hooked on you, just like I'm hooked on whiskey. Free whiskey. Damn, this thirst of mine and how it kicks me. You tricked me, but oh, then you kissed me. So now I'm hooked on you, just like I'm hooked on whiskey. Now I'm hooked on you, just like I'm hooked on whiskey. Now I'm hooked on you, just like I'm hooked on whiskey. Thank you. I love to start my shows with that song because usually people bring me whiskey, and it's a really great way to start a show. All right, so this is a song, another title track to one of my albums. This album came out in 2014. It's called Never Let Go. I wrote this song after a good old-fashioned night of fighting, which is why I say you should never date a songwriter, because good or bad, it's going to end up in a song and will live forever. So some more advice for you. Never let go. No denying I'm not perfect. No pretending that I'll ever be. But I think you'll find me worth it. Oh. Yeah, I've got what you need. So never let go. Never let go. Some days it's hard to love me. Oh, I know. But I thank God that you do. 'Cause when pushing comes to shoving, oh, I know I couldn't make it without you. So never let go when there's pain, when the sky is pouring rain. Never let go when it seems it'd be easier to leave. And never give up, never give in. It's a crazy love we're in, I know. go. Baby, when your arms surround me, oh, and your hands, they touch my skin, I feel love has finally found me. Won't you hold me once again and never let go? Hold me tight, tell me everything's alright. Never let go when it seems it'd be easier to leave. And never give up, never give in. It's a crazy love we're in, I know. But never let go when there's pain, when the sky is pouring rain. Never let go when it seems it'd be easier to leave. And never give up, never give in. It's a crazy love we're in, I know. I know, but never let go. Never let go. Thank you. I hope so. I love it. Well, the strings are still brand new. Barely played it because I'm like, I don't know how to change the battery. So they still have that really bright brassiness to them, but once they dull out a little bit, it'll probably be super nice. But I wanted to talk about it. I love this guitar. Oh, yeah. Steve and I are buds. He's actually going to be with me in June. Yeah. Yeah, I've had him out every year that I've done this. I love that guy so much.
His full band's playing out at Art Canyon.
Yeah, that's where they like to play. I'm always out of town whenever he's here, but yeah, Steve and I, we're buds.
Yeah,
I love it. He's the best. Well, next time you talk to him, Jenni Dale, Lord loves you, but he knows that already. All right. I'm going to play you guys a new song. I know, I'm a dork. I always say dorks have more fun. Play you guys a brand new song. This song is so new. You guys will literally have the very first recording of it. As we talked about during the interview, I'm currently finishing up my 9th album, which will come out on December 5th. I am 4 songs into my 10th album that I make at the fabulous amusement park recording studio with my dearest, most wonderfulest friend of 34 years, Mr. Scott Ferris, who I cannot say enough about, was featured on Texas Country Reporter, which is so awesome. Gold record producer and the guy who probably believes in me the most. So this is brand new. The story behind this is between December 7th and February 2nd, 3 very dear people that mattered to me, one of them being one of my very best friends, all passed away, and had to put my dog to sleep. So it sounds like a perfect theme for a country song, right? But it's not. I mean, I guess it could be. But one of the things I try to do when approached with moments like that is it could be a really sad song. There's a lot of grief happening there. But usually what happens is I go, well, dang, I gotta live my life, because the truth is we're not promised anything more than this moment right here. And truth is I could die taping this, so we're not really promised anything. And I have a very beautiful wine collection and some bottles that I've been saving for the right moment to drink. And what's the right moment? If I died, I'd never get to drink it. So here's a brand new song called Drink the Wine. They say time is like an arrow. I don't have to question why. Before I even take a breath to breathe, I barely see it flying by. It seems like every day it's only proven once again that this life we have is fragile and can be taken with the wind. So drink the wine. What are you really saving for another time? When there's no guarantee, there's more. Take the trip, mend the bridge, chase a dream that you keep pushing down the line. Hug your friends, make it weird, drink the wine. Now the minutes soar like seconds, so the seconds seem like ghosts. And the haunting chill that fills the air is likely all we'll see of those. When we were young, it'd go so slowly. Before we knew it, go so fast. And the ugly truth behind it all is it was never meant to last. So drink the wine. What are you really saving for another time? When there's no guarantee, there's more. Take the trip, mend the bridge, chase a dream that you keep pushing down the line. Hug your friends, make it weird, drink the wine. There's a choir up in heaven, and there's one hell of a band. But I'm not in any hurry to find out where I fit in. Drink the wine. What are we really saving for another time? When there's no guarantee, there's more. Take the trip, mend the bridge, chase the dreams that we keep pushing down the line. Hug your friends, make it weird, drink the wine before it ends. Take it in, drink the wine. Drink the wine. Thank you. Drink the wine. I've just been playing it for a month or so, and the people that have already heard it, it's like, I do stuff with Amy Ferris. In fact, I'm going to leave here and go do one of her songwriting classes, and I'm always like, what do you want me to play? And she's like, drink the wine. So I'm glad people understand. So drink the wine. All right, so we're going to end on a super fun note. I wrote this song in 2020. When we couldn't go out and play shows, was very blessed to be able to do a show for Real Texas Radio every Tuesday at 2 o'clock called Tunes at 2 on Real Texas Radio. And it was a live broadcast show, and so people tuned in and made requests, and we got to talk and just really kind of have that connection that we were all missing in 2020. And COVID had a very big silver lining for me because it allowed me to make friends and fans from people all over the world thanks to the internet that probably I wouldn't have if not for being forced to stay home and play shows on the internet. So at the time, my baby niece, who was a year old, who was the love of my life, it was 2 p.m, so she would always tune in and listen, and so I always tried to play what I called her nursery rhyme du jour. And at one point it was, Itsy Bitsy Spider, You Are My Sunshine, Mary Had a Little Lamb. But my favorite time is when it was I'm a Little Teapot. And I don't know if you've heard I'm a Little Teapot. I mean, you've heard it, but I don't know if you've listened to it. But that song is steamy. And I thought, man, if I put it to a minor chord and wrote a few extra verses, it could be hot. So here is my version off my A Million Moments album of I'm a Little Teapot. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle, here is my spout. When I get all steamed up, you'll hear me shout. Tip me over and pour me out, pour me out. Baby, and pour me out. I'm a little teapot waiting here for you to warm me and drink my cheer. Take me to the water, wet's what I desire. Fill me up and light my fire, light my fire. Oh! Light my fire. Fill me up, baby, and light my fire. It's getting hot in here. I'm a very special teapot, yes, it's true. So here's an example of what I can do. I can warm your baby head to your toes and drink me down and let it flow, let it flow. Flow. Drink me down, pretty baby, and let it flow. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here is my handle, here is my spot. When I get all steamed up, you'll hear me shout. Tip me over, baby, and pour me out. Just so you know, that song is completely G-rated. If you thought it was dirty, that's on you. If you didn't think it was dirty, we can't be friends. Thank you.
Rearview mirror, you can't see our rhythm and groove.